So we're on the 15-minute, got a high up here, got liquidity here, another area of liquidity, equal lows, relative lows. On the 15, let's switch to the 1 because London is open now. I hit a pop up, equal lows down the bottom there. On the daily, still up in that top 25, 30% area. Areas of interest. Bottom 50% of the game box. Let's see what happens here. A strong open, playing around on the 200. Coming in for a wick rejection on the 1 hour. If there's a wick rejection at all. Overall, I'm wanting to short, but the market hasn't shown any true strength to actually short. If anything, it's just a slight pullback from USPM. If we are to go short, I would like to see this broken. Also got a break here. I don't mind if it taps this line, but if it passes through and I get a body underneath, closure underneath, then I'll probably be looking to go short. It's only 6 minutes past 5 here in Sydney. London open is 5 p.m. It probably was a good entry here across the board. Let's see if it holds that. If it holds that, I'll look to get in. Or somewhere. So we have a breaker buy side here. And then we have a breaker. Sell side. Being careful here because it's still ranging in between these two sections. So it's pretty much in a zone. If we look at it carefully, you can almost see it here. On the top of that red candle coming across, the market's in here, pretty much. So I need to break either side of it at the moment. Maybe on the 5 minute we might get a larger candle somewhere to show a better glimpse of it. Yeah, we do. So this particular candle, where we've got the high and the low for the breaker, seems to be the area of interest now. So I just need this body to close underneath. I don't want a wick, I just want a body. So this candle is 40 seconds away from closing, 38, 37. So from here showing that it's a break, I would like a little pullback in here so I can enter. So somewhere around here would be a nice entry for me to go short. So we don't want an automatic. I'll probably put my stop loss just above the breaker for confirmation. Take my first TP underneath equal lows or over here, whichever comes first. So I'm looking to retrace underneath this wick, hopefully. So underneath this particular candle, given that I may possibly retrace 50% of this or may just tap here and then I miss the entry. So I'm looking for a higher entry just for risk management. I don't want to be entering here and then my stop's up here. It's too large. If I can avoid that, I will. If I don't get an entry, then I don't get an entry. It is what it is. Won't be chasing that one. Would like it to hold here if it does return higher. So I think most people would have taken that entry or taken the entry here below that wick. But those things don't really concern me. I'm more concerned about how I take it. This area looks good for an entry too. I just noticed that because that's where all the bodies are. Right here, just underneath. Blow that up, we can see it here. A lot of candles here without any wicks. So you got this candle, that candle's got no wick, this top end's got no wick, this bottom one's got no wick. That's got no wick. So we're in. That's got no wick. That's got no wick. So generally, when I see something with no wicks, it tends to want to retrace to that area and cover it. Not always, but that's what I've always noticed. It'll retrace to cover that wick. Like here, it's covered the wick. This entire candle's covered both wicks, and so on and so on. So it only retraces once, in my opinion, when we see the wicks. So I'll be happy if it retraces down there, then I can move that, and then I can bring my stop down here. If I was to track that for 10 points, let's say, um, which is always the target, roughly about here. So I can bring my stop to here, adjust that underneath to break lower. Would be very nice. And my stop is sitting at 6.5. So what I'm looking for is a break below here before I adjust my stop. In the sense of a body closure. I trade body closures, not wicks. So this is my funded futures account actually. I don't know, for some reason I decided to record and slap it onto YouTube. Get people to judge my trading style. They either like it or they don't. Like, it is what it is. So if you're wondering why I haven't moved my stop yet, it's because it's basically gapped. So I've got an area of interest here with these wicks and this body here. I mean, if I don't move it in time and it just literally snaps into my TP, then yeah, I'll take it. I don't like these kind of gaps, imbalanced gaps. At some stage, they tend to be closed. Um, I'd rather it close now and stay underneath the knife, like now. So, but, yeah, there you go. Happy with that. So that being the case, I can now bring that lower, switch that to auto, so I don't have to confirm everything. Wait for this candle to close now. Not interested in the body closure underneath, because I would have got confirmation here. With this body closure under here, that's retraced, wicked out another 9, which is even better. So if I can just get more movement, more traction down, I'll take that. And then probably move my stop here, or just above the 9. Not too interested in wiggle space, because this is London. London does tend to retrace Asia. So Asia at the moment is up here. That's Asia low right here. Asia high, obviously higher. So again, I was interested in these wicks as a rejection on the 15. Yeah. So this lot of candles, there's a set of 15s. This is the 1 hour and this is the 4 hour. So if it comes back into my breaker area, yeah, definitely for sure I'll look to break even. So basically, when it comes back here into the 960 area, see that gap? So I might not even get there in time. Yeah, so I'm not one to give wiggle space, not interested in wiggle space or breathing space or whatever people call it. So there's a bit of negative movement here that I don't like. So it's a 9 pullback. Yeah, not liking that. Didn't get that lower movement that I was interested in. Again, that wick rejection down here. First wick test can sometimes be a killer. So there we go, get tapped out on that one. Let's see where it goes from here. So from here, I'd want it to come back up here, of course. Then I can go along. Again, giving myself another option. Looking at the 5 minute. So it's retraced more than 50% of this entire candle here. We'll just see where it goes from here. So the bias now, if it does stay above the breakers, that it'll take Asia high, which will be a good thing for me. Then we have a look at long in that all the way. Doesn't mean it always goes to the top. So if you're wondering why I haven't made an adjustment or created a new breaker, it's because I'm moving up and not down. So if I'm moving up, I want to sort of remain in the same area and not make adjustments to justify things, if that makes sense. So if I range back in here, I want it again to break up here, come back in. Now we're going to move into this break area. Which is basically the high. And here we get another gap. Accidentally deleted that. Gives us another gap. Oh, okay, it does. It's pulled back a little. Okay. So there may be a bit of relative strength here. So we may get a snap higher by the looks of it. If that being the case, I would like an entry point here. But I need this to be broken by a body to confirm the movement higher. So if this confirms a break higher, break into this, then retrace. There we go, and it's going to move without us. There's a nice EMA, 9 EMA consolidation. This looks a bit tricky though for an entry point. Here we are for the wick test. If it breaks here. So that was a nice 11-point wick. Again, you don't know if these things happen. And there's the rejection and straight through the wick. So again, this is the 1 hour. So now this gets ugly because I don't like entering into large range candles. It's a breakout candle that I would like to avoid. So this may run without us now. Oh well, it is what it is. It's a long way to come back. So I needed to come back in here. Back to the top breaker, which was the original London high. The opening London high. And you would rather retrace it slowly, not not like this. I don't want that. So here on the wick test, for example, like here, the trade is actually going into it to reject. So, for example, we're currently in a short bias. The theory behind the trade would be to enter here to reject all the way down here. That's basically what the trade is. So you tend to let this play out, for example. But then, of course, all the price action and everything else has to coincide. For here, it looks like it's just pulling back to the 9. So if I was to enter that, it would look something like this. Sell. And I wouldn't even bother like going all the way up there because if it retraces the wick, it retraces the wick. And then the bottom of it down here. So I'm looking for a retracement, something like this. So it'd be nice if this candle comes back and closes inside that body. So definitely missed that opportunity while trying to explain the trade. So the entry or the confirmation would have been actually this body closure underneath this body on the 1 hour. Entry would have been the green candle here. Again, targeting all the way down here. If you're thinking, oh, there's still an opportunity, not really. Or wick test, if it comes back, it's coming back to go through. That's basically why it's a wick test. You want to see if the wick is actually being rejected and not traded into. There it goes up. So again, that's the bottom of the wick test. This is actually a nice entry point for long. Again, because it's retraced back into that top breaker area that I like. So being careful here, it may snap into the 200, reject it, then move back higher. If that being the case, my entry point for long will actually be up here where I was planning to short on that wick test. So we're roughly 1.25 points from making that target if we had placed the trade. Now we're just 1 point away. What was the low on there? 697. So we were actually 0.25 short on that candle. So the TP was 967.25, 2597.25, 967.25, sorry, and the low on that candle was 25967.5. So 0.25 shy of it. We may get another opportunity. Again, this would have been a nice long here, maybe as an entry point. but again, too close for the 200, or for me anyway. But I like the rejection area of it because it stays clear of this blockade, this area here. It's just, so here we are coming back to test it again. What does it look like on the 5? That's a full reversal of that entire candle in 5 minutes. Almost. That's nuts. Now we're sitting on top of these bodies. Get that pop under. So we might take TP here if we were in the trade. So wick tests are only best used on higher time frames, not the lower time frames. They're not as effective. And then if you're after an X amount of points, you're not going to get that on the 1 minute. Very unlikely. Looks like TP's just about to be hit. 0.25 points away. 0.5 points away, actually. Bit of strength in this candle too, so we might get it. Okay. It's made a lie out of me. Oh, we might actually get it because there's strength in that closing candle. There. TP taken. Let's see if it taps the 200, rejects it. Oh, and it blasts right through. So we got movement lower. You could have followed that through all the way to continue down here. So from here, I'm now looking at adding a trend line for confirmation. If you want, you can basically run it here on the 15. Third tap on that trend line. So we got that area, that area. Now we got that area of interest. Creating high lows, high highs. And if you look at it carefully, it's come back into this consolidation area again. Trading sideways. So we missed an opportunity for the first trade. Missed the entry on the second trade. Was more focused on the long than the wick rejection. Hence why I missed that completely. So we've got a slight rejection of the 200 here. So the time is 5:52 p.m. 8 more minutes to go. And that'll be it for me. If we don't get anything now, or within the coming minutes, that seems reasonable enough to trade. So that was the original breaker. That was the added new breaker because that was the high of day. Opening in London, that was the original breaker before the high or before the open of London, which was also an area of liquidity on the lower time frame. So the areas of liquidity are still one down here, and the other one was actually here, which is inside of Asia. Top of Asia is here. So Just to double check, we're on Asia here. Color coded blue. A lot happening here. Lines everywhere. See if we can clean this up a little. It's it's tracing the 9 at the moment. What does it look like on the 5? Still not sure if that's going short. It's rejected roughly 50% of Asia for everyone. I mean, basically, yeah. It's coming to Asia 50% area, they rejected it. And it shows showing a bit of relative strength. If we were to go short, we're looking at a short here. Let's have a look at that. What would that look like if we were to go short? Put our stop loss back into the breaker, of course. Targeting down here under the assumption that that's a 9 EMA. And then, oh, missed it. So again, this is avoiding the 8-point rule either side of the 200 because I'm now identifying that I can go short because it's coming into that original breaker. So I'm probably going to miss this. It'd be nice if it comes back and gives me the opportunity, but then I don't like the idea of the rejection. And it actually, that's, so we're filled now, but that's quite a big rejection to come back into. So already not liking that. So let's auto lock that or one click exit. So the theory was the trend line break to come lower, coming into the breaker to again move lower. Looking to probably put my stop on the 200. We get a large expansive candle. Be nice. Again, body closure underneath the breaker would be ideal. Um, and we're 3 minutes away from a complete 1 hour. New candle, still playing around with the trend line area. Already don't like that because one, it's rejected the breaker. Two, it's not holding underneath. I would like that candle to hold body under there, body under the trend line. And it would almost look picture perfect. So 20 seconds away from closing that candle out. If I can get closure under here on this particular candle, would be very nice. So this particular area. If I can just reach into here, I'll be cheering. A lot of resistance at the moment. Haven't got a body closure under there. Just 30 seconds away from closing. Need a closure underneath before I can move my stop. Well, we could play it safe and just move it. All right. So let's do that. So again, wanting to reach here because I want to get underneath these two bodies on the 1 hour. That would be very nice. Then I can move my stop somewhere near the breaker at least. So we get that because I don't want to get too close to it. We still need to give it some wiggle space. But if we identify the breaker as true strength, trend line is the true strength, then I suppose, in a way, it shouldn't return. So let's just see. At least this will pay for our fees. But again, we didn't get that closure here underneath these bodies here. So if we could just get that push, would be very nice. Uh, let's see it would look like if we took our 10 points, 0.25, 0.5, just to cover the fees. Look something like that. So if I know that, I can move the stop from here to here. We're already passed our 1 hour into this, and there we go. We got stopped out, which works for me. So that's the end of that session.